Plaintiff Phyllis Harding says the defendant dated her daughter, and they have 4 children. But Phyllis is currently raising the children because her daughter and the defendant were homeless. Phyllis is suing the defendant for child care expenses. Defendant Isidro Javier Chavez says while he was with Phyllis's daughter, he got an apartment and was working 2 jobs to support their family. Javier insists he pays child support and has always been there for his children.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, my name is Phyllis. I'm 65 years old. I raised my 3 children, and now I'm raising my grandchildren, 4 of them from ages 5, 7, 8.5, and 10. I've had them off and on actually since the youngest son, who was born in 2013, since he was 3 months old, because of problems with homelessness, joblessness, and they've had a lot of financial difficulty.
Any drugs involved?
No, I don't know. No
Good.
drugs involved. It's just been, like, I guess, bad luck. I don't know.
Bad luck for how many years?
Since 2013. And maybe a little bit before, but they used to take care of themselves. I've always been really free with helping. And I know that even since my daughter graduated, she met him the year she graduated from high school. If she met him before, I don't know, but I didn't become aware of him until 2010. And she was 18. And even though I was against the relationship because of the age difference, at that time I think it was about 9 years, and I just felt that he was too old and mature for her at the time. But she was grown, so it was nothing I could do.
How old was he at that time?
Let's see, maybe she was 18, so he was about 26.
Okay. And they got along otherwise?
Yeah, they got along. I mean, yeah, they got along real well. She got pregnant before she graduated.
4 times, right?
Yeah. Well, and that was the first time. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was born on her 19th birthday when she turned 19, May 26th. It was my birthday, May 26th. It was her birthday, May 26th. So he had him then. At that time, I felt like I said, well, she wanted to be on her own. They left and went to Texas, and I had to go and get her because they were homeless.
Because what?
Because of homelessness.
Got it.
So I went and got her, brought her back. And initially, I think I did help her get a place in a low-income apartment, and I paid the rent. But I got upset because he moved in with her, and so I felt like you got a man, he's supposed to pay the rent. But then the rent got behind, but the place called me because they knew initially I was paying the rent, and they told me, and that's how I found out he was staying there. I didn't know. I just found out. I guess not. I don't know if he was working.
If they couldn't pay the rent, something was going on.
Yeah, something was going on. And I'm saying you just can't live on somebody. And then I felt like, as always, taken advantage of. I stopped paying. So she eventually ended up coming back to my house. And I lived next door to his parents. And so he came back home too. But then started noticing that, and then I had an older daughter that moved back into the house, and she was the one that discovered that he was sneaking in over there, while once I was asleep or whatever. But she got rid of him because she kind of mean, and she got him out of there. And so, but I've been helping them both. And I don't dislike him.
It seems like you just told me about one of the children.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. They're coming in the story now.
Okay.
It just seems like then they just started having kids together. They didn't get married at first. They got engaged, but they never actually quite got married. And I think it was because my daughter had some hesitation because he didn't keep jobs. And he had some good jobs, though, off and on while they were together. But they just didn't last, but I don't know why.
Let me speak to him, sir.
First of all, Your Honor, let me start a little bit from the beginning. And I honestly don't think it's fair or that she's
I have to work. Sometimes I feel that way.
No, I mean she sits there and tries to put me out.
My wife that
like a deadbeat father. I'm not. I do pay my child support. And everything. I love my kids with everything. And there were a little bit sketchy when she was saying the story, and that's not exactly what happened.
Well, tell me.
Well, I'm the one that actually found the apartment.
I don't agree with that.
I want to know who actually paid, though.
Me. I had 2 jobs, Your Honor.
Okay.
I worked at a place called Cargill, which is a meat packing plant.
I'm familiar with
and then I also worked at Walmart.
That's a pretty good job, Cargill.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I worked mornings at Cargill and I worked nights at Walmart.
Okay.
It got too hectic for me, so after about 5 months, I couldn't do Walmart.
Maybe
no more.
I don't understand what you got too hectic. What do you mean? Going to work became hectic.
Yeah, going to work and then my
What's hectic
hours.
for me? Do I still have to come in?
Yeah. So
Dealing with you and her and the ones before you all and the ones before that. That's hectic.
Yeah.
You come sit in this seat and you'll really walk off.
I don't agree with everything he said.
But he can tell me better about his life than you,
So,
because you were in a different state at that time, right?
No. We went to Texas, okay? It wasn't because of homelessness. My job that I went up there for, that I was supposed to get, it didn't come through. So that left me in a bind.
It was too hectic.
No. It wasn't hectic. It's just when I was supposed to get my old job back that I had, and they just told me to come in and let them know as soon as I get there, and we'll go ahead and put you in. It didn't work out that way.
That's the one job.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
when we went to Texas, and yes, she did have to come pick us up.
What about the rent she says they called her about? That's the concern here, really.
I was paying rent. There were a few other times, yes, that we struggled, that we needed help.
Why? You
with
had
rent.
2 jobs.
That was after the fact. That's fast forward a little bit.
Okay, so at
'Cause we
the
stayed
time
there.
that you were living in the place that she had signed for and they called her about, were you working then?
No, at that time, no.
Okay. And how long thereafter did you begin work?
After that, I ended up getting another job.
Were you able to pay the rent then?
Yes, I started paying rent again.
Okay.
I just couldn't get caught back up.
Okay. She came to Texas?
Yeah, she
Bring
came
you
to
back?
Texas to come get us, okay?
Right.
When we came back, that's when it all started. The Texas thing, that only lasted, we was only there for a matter of maybe 2-3 weeks.
Because they backed out on you.
So
Or
then
you
I
backed down
spent
on
the
them.
next 2 weeks trying to find another job, and I couldn't find
Let's
it.
just cut to the chase. Last 10 years, how many jobs you had?
We had 4 kids together.
I said job.
Oh, job, sorry. The last 10, oh, wow.
You can't count.
Wow. It's too,
It's too many to count.
that's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why are you so unstable in the workplace?
I don't think I was the one that was unstable.
It was the bosses.
No.
All your bosses happen to be unstable.
No, I think it was my relationship that kept me unstable. We got along just fine. We loved our kids, but in the end, we just always constantly bickered and fought, and it was always about bills, and we couldn't do this. But then again, I kept saying, "Can you help me? Can you get a job?" She'd say, "Okay, I try." Never would.
How much do you think child care would have cost for 4 children? She was better off not working. So
Right.
It would cost about $200
Right.
a week per child. So perhaps even $250. So that's $1,000 a week.
Oh yeah,
$4,000 a month.
easy.
She was providing more than you. You weren't making $4,000 a month.
No.
Well, then she was. She saved you guys $4,000. When you save somebody some money, you're really giving them some. How many years did she do that?
Guess 10 years.
10 years, $4,000 a month.
40 $48,000 a year.
Times 10.
480.
You're $500,000. How you gonna pay it? You know,
I don't know.
you better marry her and get that debt off you. That's the best way to handle it.
Too late for the Mary thing now.
You say it's too late, you want your money?
On. He's got a new girlfriend. She's 21 and she's expecting her first baby.
This is gonna be the fifth child, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you haven't been able to take care of the 4 properly. You've been off and on working, all jokes aside now. You've been working off and on. All of these children, these 4 children that you have, you've worked off and on all their lives. At some point, you should have stopped until you knew you could afford those children. And now you have a 5th one, and you're being sued for child care expenses. Ma'am, tell me how he owes you child care expenses.
He owes me his children live with me 24/7. That's the kid's expression.
How long have they been?
And I've been doing this off and on since 2013.
For 7 years.
I had 2 of their children that came to stay with me. And then even when my daughter came down, she stayed in an apartment that was my apartment. And my son and we had an apartment together. My aunt, though, needed help. She's 102 years old now. And so I moved in to help her, and my son kept the apartment. When my daughter moved there, she moved in the apartment, and she took the kids back. And so she had 3 kids there at that time. They were living in the place, and I ended up paying the rent because my son lost his job. But since my name was on the lease, I had to pay the rent. So then my daughter, against my wishes, invited him to come down, and he moved in the place, and he never paid any rent while he was there, and that apartment was $650 a month. And I was paying the rent, and everybody was living there. They lived there, and they fought and bickered, and they did $10,000 worth of damage, and when I went to housing court, they went on my record, and I had to pay on it. Nobody gave me any money to help me. I didn't pay the animal thing because I didn't have any animals, and neither did my son. She brought cats in there. They, I had a wheelchair, and because I had a stroke a few years back, and that ended my career. I'm a doctor, a physician, but that ended me working. I had a wheelchair that I was storing in my apartment, and the wires got pulled out. I don't know or chewed up by the cat or whatever. And I said that nobody ever paid for that $5,000 machine. I'm sitting up just saying that holes in the wall. The carpet was damaged, and he probably didn't do all of it because my son was there and he had a girl.
No, his children though.
And his children were there. Mm-hmm. They were little, and I would come over there and it was in horrible condition.
Okay. With regard to child care expenses, did he ever agree to pay you for child care expenses?
No, he didn't. But he did agree to help pay for rent. And I don't think that is it fair for me to pay for all the food, all the clothes. I take them back and forth to school. It costs me a lot of money every week on my car for gas. Gas went sky high as soon as I got the kids. Gas stopped.
And y'all ain't even on drugs. Most folks out here that come like this and have the grandmother take care of the children all their life, it's because the children are on crack. Like we're seeing with the opioid epidemic, like we saw with the crack epidemic, the addicts pass on their responsibility to the parent. And the parent worked all their lives and ready to relax a little, and here comes an additional burden to them that they have to live with under stress. Usually people on crack. You all just trifling. You tell me. Why did she have to do all these with the 4 children for 7 years? And he shoved his shoulders.
I don't do drugs.
Then you need to.
Hey, like you said, they're too expensive.
You don't want to pay for nothing. You don't even want to pay for your high.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I've I didn't bring him earlier because I always give them a chance. They're gonna pay you back, but next paycheck. But then the paycheck either doesn't come, or if it's too short, I'm too short. I can't pay my utilities. I loan him money for rent, and he can't say I didn't do that because when they didn't have a place to live in Cleveland now, this coming up now, they got 3 kids. And they're living in a hotel. I've loaned you money for gas for your car to go to work when you did have a job. You say you go give it back. You never give it back. Never. One time we had lived in Kansas. You called and asked me to loan you some money to pay the car note so they wouldn't take your car back. You didn't. I'm going to give it to you. I get paid on Friday. I'm going to send it back. You never sent it back. But I let it go because you taking care of the kids. But then all of a sudden you're not taking care of the kids no more. They coming up to stay with me. Then everybody was up there. You could have gave me $20 a week. I would have been happy. I wouldn't be here right now. I get angry because you steal from me.
What?
Your mama, they mama gave me the child support card she asked me, she had a job then. And so she had just got the job, so I was going to visit my other grandchild.
I'm going to leave that alone.
And I took them with me. And she gave me the child support card. She said, I saved some money on here so you won't have to buy to help you buy the uniforms. Ain't enough on there to buy all the uniforms, but she had money on her. I go down there, I go to the store, give the card, the swipe, and then the lady said, well, it said insufficient funds. So of course I had to use my money to buy the uniforms. And so when I got home, I told my daughter there's nothing on there. So she called child support. And then they said, well, let's go over your last charges. Uber Eats, Uber Cab, some kind of Xbox Play thing. He had got the number of the card and was using it and charging the money off of the card. So he was taking it back.
Sir, I beg
he took
you.
it back.
That's not what
Please tell me you on drugs. You're recovering now. You don't do it no more.
I don't
right?
do drugs, period.
You never did?
Back
Like, I'm talking about some hard drugs.
No.
Well, you can't take care of your kids.
No, the card situation, Your Honor, that's not what happened at all.
I don't care about this one incident, sir. I am troubled that she has had to raise and support.
She is speaking
and
about
care
recently.
She's talking about 7 years worth of care.
7 years worth of care. That's because her daughter went behind my back and always told her that we needed money. That had nothing to do with me.
You didn't need money.
Yes, she did.
You never needed the money.
I didn't say we didn't need the money, but her daughter's the one that went to her. I had to keep working to keep bringing home money. And then she would tell me,
if you were
I got
working
money
and
from
bringing
Mom.
home money, you didn't need any. Sir, do you have a permanent skill? Just want to know, if you don't mind me asking. You have some type of permanent skill that you obtained after high school?
A permanent skill, no.
Yes, college degree, a skilled trade, any of those things that are transferable so that you can take care of these children you're producing. That's what I'm referring to, sir. Don't let it be a foreign concept.
No. I mean,
what's your defense to reimbursing her for all the child care expenses she has expended?
No.
She wants $5,000. What do you say?
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, if that's exactly what she's feeling, then ain't nothing I really can say to that, because I'm not that type of father. I'm a father that's going to sit there and try to be there for my kids. And if my kids need it, then why not?
And I've been messing with you about the drug thing,
well,
but I was serious asking about, that's why I was asking about a transferable skill.
No, and right now I've been at my company, where I work at now. I've been there for over 2 years. I am a crane operator. I am a machine operator, a tow motor driver, and I do basically everything in that.
Ma'am, he's not as trifling as you make him out to be.
Yes, he is.
I tried.
Like I said.
All right, sir. You're not fighting it. I'll grant you the judgment of $5,000. Even though there wasn't an agreement, he's doing it to do the right thing. And I appreciate him doing that. It took you a minute, but your mind said do the right thing. All right. $5,000 is your judgment. Have a good day.
I love you. And I don't dislike you, but the reason why I came is I just can't afford it. I've gone through my savings, through everything, because I care about the kids, and I don't want them to be without. They miss you and they love you every weekend. Are we going over Daddy's this week? And I said, well, I had to call your mom to see if they've talked and if he wants you this weekend. It disappoints them when they want to see you and you tell me, oh, I can't take them this week because I'm doing something with my girlfriend's parents. Take your children with you, because their step grandparents, when you get married, need to know these kids because they're supposed to be with you.
I have no hard feelings, Like, that's it at the end of the day. It's still my 4 babies, that's their grandma. I'm not going to sit there and disrespect an elder. I was raised better than that, and we're going to keep it that way. Okay. I still love you, too.
Plaintiff Taylor Smith says her boyfriend, who's with her in court, is still legally married to the defendant, but they are in the process of divorcing. Taylor claims the defendant is brainwashing her children to tell lies about Taylor. And she also filed a false police report against her, claiming Taylor abused her daughter, so she's suing. Defendant Rachel Breen says her husband abandoned her and their 3 children, and Taylor is the 3rd girlfriend he's had since he walked out. Rachel insists her children's welfare is in danger because Taylor has been abusing them, so she's countersuing.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
All right, Your Honor. My name is Taylor. I know Rachel because she came to my job, and she is the soon-to-be ex-wife of Patrick Breen, who I didn't know at the time, and I wasn't sleeping with, like she accused me of, but I do know him now, and I am now.
You sleeping with him now?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you for that. Back in February of this year...
Who you think believed that? You think she believed it? No. You think I believe it? No. No, you were sleeping with that man before that.
No, I wasn't.
Go ahead.
I was leaving work one day, and she was outside the gates of our work, and she stopped me and asked me if I worked there. I told her yeah. She asked me if I knew who Patrick was. I told her no, I didn't, because I didn't know who he was. I worked on a different shift than him. She then proceeded to tell me that I looked familiar to her. I told her I didn't know her. I've never seen her before. She then asked me if I was the one that was sleeping with her husband. I told her no, I was not. She was like, are you sure? I said, I'm very
now
positive.
When you look back at her, you say she's psychic.
She must have been. I mean, because I had no idea.
Because you hadn't even met him.
Exactly.
Didn't know her.
I had reached
She didn't
out.
know you. But it just so happened something told her someday.
I mean, if that's the way you want to put
They're going
it.
to be sleeping with each other. And lo and behold, it came true.
Yes, sir. Because
Go ahead, ma'am. So what happens then?
I reached out to people that I worked with asking who he was, because I didn't know who he was. And, they told me that he wanted to reach out and apologize to me because he was embarrassed for his wife's actions at the time. And, he told me a little bit about what was going on with their home life, how they were
Said,
in
how
the
can I
process.
make it up to you? And she said, I got an idea.
That's how it went?
Yeah.
How they were in the
He's
process
giving
of
me the
getting a
real
divorce.
conversation. Go ahead.
And so after that, we slowly started talking, and we got to know each other, and one thing led to another, and now we're dating.
All right, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I did not know this woman existed. I did drive by the work because my husband abandoned me and our 3 children in August of 2016. And when he left, he liquidated bank accounts, stole taxes, even took the tags off the family vehicle. So I knew of the first girlfriend. This one would be the 3rd. And I didn't even know she existed until a certain Slick John sent me some email paperwork with his and her picture.
Let's see it,
And to
please.
this day, I don't know who Slick John is, Your Honor.
Me either, Your Honor.
So what is Slick John saying? I mean,
Slick John told me to help me in my divorce.
Hello, Rachel. You don't know me. I'm a real person. I have information you might like to know.
And I thought it was the first girlfriend, but this isn't about him and this isn't about her. This is about the welfare of my children.
All right. And what are the specific allegations regarding defamation and harassment?
Okay, so there's
her?
three, Your Honor, that I would really like to touch base on. The first one occurred in May of 2017. I was probably around the third time I was around the children, and we were all at my house for a cookout. I was cooking. Their daughter was in the backyard on a tree swing. One of the rope swings on the tree swing broke. She was crying. We ran into the backyard, and then it was the next day that Rachel had gone to the police department and made a police report and said that I beat up their daughter. So I then, when I got off work, contacted the police department and I asked an officer to come to my house so he could speak with me about the incident. I have copies of the police reports, and I also have copies of the picture of the swing. In that police report, it also states in there that while the officer was taking pictures of their daughter with the booking room camera, she stated to him that she received her injuries from falling off of a swing.
How does she defame you?
She's making false police reports on me. She's telling her children to lie. Laura came over, their daughter came over a couple days after this incident happened, and she stated to Patrick that Mommy made me lie, that I didn't get spanked, because she said that I spanked their daughter, which did not happen. She's saying that I beat their daughter up.
She only said to you, you've beat my daughter up, or did she say this to a third party?
She said it to my cousin, which I don't have.
Okay.
I mean.
And who else?
She's put it on Facebook, I'm sure.
You have that?
I don't have a copy of that one.
I need some type of evidence, or at least convincing testimony that she told this, which she knew was a lie, to a third party to try and hurt your reputation. Her cousin?
She said it to him.
Okay. And you have to give me at least one person other than your boyfriend.
Well, it's in that police report. There's more pages to that police report as well. I mean, she didn't know the officer.
So you're saying what she told the police, defame you.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you can't utilize law enforcement, either testimony or conversation, when you're suing for defamation. And the theory behind that is that no one will talk to the police if they are afraid that they'll be sued for defamation based on what they believe occurred in an incident. So we can't use the police. You gotta give me somebody else she told that stuff to. And how does she harass you?
She's constantly been sending me messages on Facebook all summer long. She's come to my house and she's gone in my mailbox.
How many times?
Once.
Gone into your mailbox?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You saw her?
I didn't see her.
How do you know?
Because she told me, Your Honor.
Come to your mailbox for what?
She filed paperwork stating that she was going to be in court, and she checked the box on their hand deliver, and she came to my house and put it in my mailbox while nobody was home.
Not sure if that's harassment. That's serving you with a lawsuit. What are your emotional distress claims for?
Since my children have been in Mrs. Smith's care and my husband, Patrick Breen's care, they have, in this paperwork right here, shows that my children, my 5-year-old twin boys and my 8-year-old daughter, have witnessed Taylor Smith receiving oral sex on a couch in the living room by my husband while they were at the back door. So I had to put my children in counseling, and I have paperwork for that, because I come off, if I say
What
anything,
is you have there?
This is the psychologist. And this is also my police report that Laura gave the police officer.
Laura was concerned about her visits with her dad in regards to his friend Taylor Smith. Go ahead.
This is in our final decree that Patrick will not sign, and it clearly states, neither party shall use corporal physical punishment in the minor children, nor will they allow third parties to touch
I've never touched
our
your
children. Don't look at me like I'm a fool.
I've never touched your kids.
Don't talk to me. You don't count.
And I never will.
And this is what the
It's not
doctor...
my job.
Okay, stop talking. Shh.
Go ahead, ma'am. What do you have?
And again, right here it says, we're DCFS as mandate. My daughter came home after Labor Day, puking cookies and what smelled like hand sanitizer. I've been sober a year. I don't think Miss Thing with the blowing in her car to let her drive could say the same. Neither my pothead husband, but that's okay. My whole point is I'm all good. My home is normal. My home is safe, and God is what runs us. We have a Breen team motto. God is with us. Who could be against us? No lies and no secrets.
That's all
and
you are is a lie.
all this is right here.
No.
Is trouble for my children, because I can deal with this. But every week I have to worry about my babies. And not to mention now, all 3 of my children. And my son, the 4-year-old, is the one that told me about Taylor abusing my child.
I thought your twin boys were 5.
They were 4 when they snitched you out, big girl.
Right.
I'm sorry, no disrespect. I'm sorry. I apologize, sir.
Your Honor.
What else you have there, ma'am?
This is DCF, the doctors that called because Laura was throwing up what smelled like vodka. But secondhand smoke, this is all from her mouth. I wasn't even in the room.
While in transport, the paramedics observed that the 8-year-old child appeared to be intoxicated and or under the influence.
Your Honor, I do have a copy of the EMT report, the actual EMT report, not that fabricated thing that her lawyer drafted up. So I do have a copy of that. It's all right here.
Let's see it, please. And they determined the child had no alcohol.
I do have copies.
No, sir, she did
Also,
not.
I do have copies of the toxicology and drug screening
There
that
you
was
go.
done
That's
at the
what I
hospital
need.
that day as well, Your Honor.
That's what I need. Something
And it was
that
no
says
kind of
she was
drugs?
tested and not
She was
found
tested.
to have alcohol or drugs in
Yes,
her
sir.
system.
No, sir. I didn't get her home to the
What
day
else, ma'am, other
after.
than those 2 things? I mean, which is a lot.
Well, Miss Smith likes to take it upon herself because he's never been a leader. He's a follower. He's going to do whatever she tells him to do. And that's just the backbone that he was born with.
No.
But
Now you're talking. You done talked about him. Now you're talking about his mama. I'm gonna stop you.
Well,
Stop.
no, sir. I'm just pointing out.
He got his backbone from his mother and father, so you
No,
talk
his
about
father's
one
a
or
good
the
man.
other.
His father's a great man. We don't know what happened to him.
All right. All right. Based on what I've heard, I'll just go from there. Ma'am, you're suing her, saying that she has defamed you, but only person you could tell me she told things to were the police. So I'm going to dismiss your claim. With regard to your counterclaim, however, ma'am, she brings me in a verifiable document where it was such an issue that the child had to go for counseling.
No, that whole thing that she has for the counselor,
Yeah.
that was like way before. She started seeing a counselor before I was even around,
My mother would like to
who
speak.
also stated that,
And see, I didn't know that.
Yes,
that your
sir.
child had already been for counseling. Come on up, ma'am. State your name. What do you want to tell me?
Yes, I am the
What's your name?
grandmother, Tina Jansen.
All right.
Oh, miss, you can
Thank you so much.
Yes, she was in therapy before this happened. Now the boys are in therapy for the same for this right here,
Threatening to
for
kill
what they're going
themselves.
through.
I don't see anything in this that reflects that
We
what
have
she's
the-
going through is
What does
based
it
on
say
what
where
this
she's
woman
scared
is
of Taylor? Isn't it on there?
Your
Yeah,
Honor,
but-
if those children are so scared of me, when she filed her petition to terminate his parenting time, she would not have given us those children that same exact weekend that she filed.
My grandson.
You are a
at the
liar,
time
and they
was
get it from
4.
you.
Stop talking. My mother's speaking.
And he came
care.
to me and he told me exactly what happened that day.
Ma'am, if all these things were happening, you needed to have your children back a long time
It's
ago.
not the law
Sir,
here.
she does have
This is
primary
the law
custody.
is you file a claim
We have.
and the claim is followed up on.
We have.
Let me see that. I don't see any of that.
We're still waiting for him
Well,
to sign
then
it.
come back when they finish. You all go back and try to get along. Your claim's dismissed, so is yours. Have a good day.
Look at this ugly thing. Man, I hope you get some therapy. You're very ugly. Very ugly. Disgusting.
Oh, coming from you?
Assaulted me in front of a police station.
It's funny how that was
Look at grandma here.
dismissed.
Look at grandma in this picture.
Oh, look. The big fat boy beat up the little white girl.
There's
Oh.
grandma. Check out grandma.
Big old 300
That's what meth will do to you. A felon.
Oh, go
That's
eat
what meth
another
and a felon
Twinkie,
is
fat
right
boy.
there.
Shut your mouth.
Look at your mom. What you talk about fat?
I wish y'all all the best. I hope you have kids and you live happily ever after together because you deserve each other.
Thanks.
Not a problem.
Not very nice things. So I'm probably just going to be quiet.
Shocking.
It's all about the grandchildren, my children.
And the system
And I
has
want
failed.
them to treat my children with respect and not hurt them and abuse them.
Nobody touches them.
I don't believe you.
I don't care if you do or not.
I don't care. I believe the children. The children talk to me.
Well,
I don't
She's the
believe
one that
you.
drove drunk with him in the car. She's the one that drove drunk with him in the car. She's the one that hit him with a bottle. A beer bottle.
Plaintiff Kenny Presbury says the defendant is his younger brother, and he graduated at the top of his class from the University of Wisconsin. But now he's a homeless crack addict. Kenny is suing his brother today for unpaid loans. Defendant David Presbury admits that while studying abroad, he tried cocaine, and eventually that escalated to crack addiction. David admits that he's been to prison and rehab several times, but he is still currently addicted to drugs.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David is my little brother.
He doesn't need the money with that
And
watch.
Doesn't need the money with that watch, you say? All right.
I'm here today suing my brother for not only for the money that he owes me, but I'm mostly here today, Your Honor, seeking help from my brother. David is very intelligent. He graduated magna cum laude from the University of Wisconsin, and he holds a degree in political science. In my opinion, David should be in Washington effectively changing the world, but instead, he's currently homeless and he's addicted to drugs.
Was he in politics before getting addicted, or?
Unfortunately, he did not get a chance to do that.
Addicted before going into a corrupt system?
Absolutely.
When do you believe his drug addiction started? How long after college?
It actually started while he was in college.
What year?
From my knowledge, it began in 2004.
What type of drugs?
He does crack, but he's told me that he's also done meth.
Ain't nobody do no crack no more. Crack out of style. Ain't even no more crackheads. That's why I can tease about it. You ain't the last crackhead standing out here. Don't be the last crackhead standing, sir. Go on to something else. Crystal meth, that's popular. Heroin, or pills, or opioids. Please don't tell me you on crack. You'll be the only one. The crack, man, ain't nobody else selling crack no more. How do you find crack?
There's plenty of people still selling. If money can be made, there's somebody selling it.
I know you know. If they're there, you know it.
You're gonna find it.
If it exists, you gonna find it.
Even if he's on Mars.
Don't say if it's on Mars, you in the spaceship. Or you might just do like you've been doing. Beam me up, Scotty. And you'll feel like you're going to Mars. But I don't believe him. That's why I'm having fun with you. That man ain't on no crack. Go ahead. He's magna cum laude, went to Wisconsin and got hooked on crack while there.
Yes, while he was in Mexico, he was studying abroad, and he ended up trying drugs for the first time, and he's been hooked ever since then.
Let me hear from him. Sir, you give me some
nice to meet you,
background on
Judge.
yourself.
This is my older brother. We have been, I'm the youngest of 7. We grew up in Chicago. And because I'm the youngest, and the family's always been very protective of me. And it is true, I am a graduate of the UW Madison. And Kenny and I, we've always been very close. We've always been, he's always had like a protector role over me, being the youngest. And and when he was on hard times and I was in college, I helped him out, and vice versa. When I've been on hard times, he's helped me out. And I'm a very honest person. And what he said, it was mostly true. I speak Spanish. I went down to Mexico to live abroad, and UW Madison is a party school, and I partied hard. And I managed to graduate. I do have a degree in political science. I did go down to Mexico, and I got involved in some stuff.
Were you a junior or senior?
I was a junior. No, I was a senior. I was a senior.
Senior?
So the first semester of my senior year. So I went down to Mexico, been there for 5 months, then came back to Madison, Wisconsin to finish the last semester of my senior year and graduated. So
you were getting high in Mexico. That's where you get. And what did you first use?
It was cocaine, powder cocaine. And then I just kind of progressed to...
How long did it take you to progress to crack?
About a year and a half.
Who turned you on to crack?
I did. I just,
Go ahead, sir. Give me some more testimony.
David gets into a lot of situations due to his drug addiction. He also gets blackout drunk which has led him to get beat up several times. He ends up in the ER. He's been arrested several times for it. He went to Nashville for a couple of months last summer, the summer of 19, supposedly to change his life around. He ended up getting into the same type of behaviors.
I believe this is a game he giving y'all. I'm in the hospital. Oh, if I don't get $500, I ain't gonna make it. Oh, that man. What else you did? I got robbed. Come on, man. Did he ever ask y'all to send him some money when he was in these situations?
Actually, no. So these are actually...
He didn't ask you. If he's smart, like you say he is, that was game. Yeah. He said, okay, let me tell my brother, let me tell Kenny that it's happening, and then I'm gonna say such and such. If you don't believe me, ask Kenny.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you go back to Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny, your brother David wanted $1,000. He claimed me in the hospital. Yeah, he in the hospital. Yeah, he in the hospital. Because he done set you up already. All right. He's had all these problems that typically cost money to get out of. Jail, gotta pay the hospital, got robbed, so I'm broke. Everything that caused him problems was money related. Go ahead, and y'all just believed all that. You're a little naive, that's all. You can't blame me for being naive, but you're still in Chicago? Did you grow up here?
I did for a time, but
And you don't know the crackhead moves yet?
I mean, I believe him. He's very proud of his crack addiction.
Crackhead, you believe?
He's never denied it. He's very proud of the fact
that's even more game. If I'm honest enough to tell you that I'm a crackhead, then I wouldn't lie to you about getting money, about needing money.
Well, he sent me pictures of his black eyes and things like that.
Oh, so, Lord.
I mean...
a crackhead will hit him, bust himself in the face if it's going to get him some money to buy crack, man.
True.
All right, so he came with a bunch of problems over the course of how long now? Seriously.
This has been the course of since I knew him 2004 up until current date. The biggest issue that led us here today is what happened last summer.
As I am concerned about this crack addiction, I'm playing and having fun about it, but I am concerned. Has he ever been to treatment?
I'm not sure. I think he might have.
You're sure of all this other stuff, but you don't know whether he went to treatment. He went to the hospital. He got robbed. He got beat up. And the biggest thing he needs in his life is treatment.
True. You're right.
Now you don't know whether he's gone.
I think he's done like a stint.
Sir, you been to treatment?
I have been, yes.
How many times?
Like 7.
Wow. How many days or months each time?
Well, like 20 to 30. So.
How many times did you go to NA after coming out of treatment?
None, really, if I wasn't forced
That's your problem, yeah. Number one, your little treatments you got in about nothing. 10, 15 days isn't anything, and 30 isn't anything but a detox, and then all you want is a fresh high because you haven't received the type of therapy and treatment that you need. Then the other part is NA. That's the most critical part of aftercare, and as you say, you've done none of that. So you're going to keep going to treatment until he does that, sir. So unless he telling y'all he in NA, don't believe that nonsense. Sir, you tell me about yourself. I mean, all this stuff he's told me, and you want to deny anything or give an explanation?
I'll give an explanation. Most of it's true. And I really don't deny the fact that I like to do drugs. I mean, I think if more Americans admit the fact that people like to engage in substance, things that alter their substances, we wouldn't be having all these problems with them being illegal. That's half the problem, that the drugs are illegal and not because the actual cost that they... Oh, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. When I started out, I stole, I worked, then I started stealing. I went to prison 3 times.
So if America would accept the fact that a crackhead can rip you off and go to prison and use our tax dollars to take care of you, then America would be better off.
But you would be going to prison if the stuff was legal in the first place. How many alcoholics
but you'd be going to the hospital because you would bust your heart. You've been a crackhead for many years. Don't talk to me like you don't know the ramifications. of free and open use of crack. You will be homeless. How about that?
Yeah.
You
You
will
could-
that
you could
happen
die.
too?
People die.
So
That's
you'll
the
be
risk you
homeless
take.
on our street.
He's homeless now.
Being
I'm
a
homeless
crackhead.
now.
He's
Right.
homeless now.
And that's all right with you?
At this point, I'm trying to get it together, but yeah.
Well,
I mean,
why
at this
you
point-
want to get it together? All you should want is America to get it together. Why you need to get it
Because
together?
if I
Remember you
waited
said,
for America to get together, I'd be waiting a long time.
right. So stop using crack.
That's an alternative, yes.
Yeah. See how quick I brought him to light?
Yeah.
Maybe he's just not as smart as me.
Maybe.
All right. Go ahead.
But if you don't want to stop using, but
that's his
the solution.
problem.
If you don't want to stop using, then
Right,
what
you
if they
stay
get you? So,
homeless,
yeah.
right. But don't go into a shelter.
Yeah.
You don't go into a shelter, do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Why? We pay for it.
Yeah.
You got me paying for your stay while you want to be a crackhead. And you think that makes America a better place, being a crackhead and having somebody else pay for your habit? If you want to be a crackhead, don't go to a shelter. Stay outside all day and night. Don't steal. Get it the best way you can. Beg, borrow, and plead to get your crack. All right? Don't go in no shelter and charge me. I don't want to smoke crack. You do. So pay for your habits and pay for the ramifications. Stop. I don't want to take care of you, you crackhead. Go ahead. You the one say you're a crackhead, so I'm calling you what it is. All right, tell me about the loans you're suing him for. Talking about you want to give him some help. You don't want no help. I help people who want it. Go ahead.
I loaned David.
Why you loan a crackhead some money?
Well,
now you want to come here talking about give him some help, Judge. What? I'll let y'all go ahead there. I know I done petrified y'all, and I'm glad I have. You
he's my
needed
little
it.
brother. He's my little brother, and like you said, it's been my job to look out for him. And he had, he was expecting a settlement.
When did he come to you first for the loan?
I first loaned him money in March of 19.
How much?
I loaned him $75.
When was he to repay it?
When he got his settlement.
That was March of 19. When else?
March 16th, $100. April 5th.
All in 19?
All these are in 19.
Uh-huh. April 5th.
April 27th, May 16th, and May 31st. And
all these repayment when this settlement came?
Yes, he had a settlement, several settlements coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And
about what?
Discrimination settlements.
Let me hear about your settlements.
Sure. In Wisconsin, it's illegal to discriminate against people who are felons. I'm a felon because I went to prison for crimes related to my addiction. So when I got out, I spent my time in prison researching the law. So when I got out, I've tried to apply for work, and companies would turn me down based on my background. And that's
They tell you that?
What? Yeah. Sometimes we put it in writing. Sometimes I would get the job, and then all of a sudden the job would disappear.
Were you on crack?
What does that mean? On? Like that?
Yeah.
I was
You
like
know
doing
what
it right then
on
and there when I
crack
applied
means?
for the.
On crack means you're a crackhead.
Yes, I
now,
was
were
doing
you
drugs.
suing somebody as a crackhead
Yes, and I
because
won.
you got
Yes.
fired?
Yes, and I won several settlements.
And you're a bad representative of what a lawsuit for discrimination should be about. A crackhead trying to manipulate the system. You're a bad example of suing on behalf of others who are ex-felons when you were a crackhead. That's probably why you were fired. Go ahead.
He was expecting this money in. One settlement was for $11,000. And he was supposed to pay me out of that initial.
What was the next one?
The next settlement was recently he got one for, I believe it was like $7,500 or something like that.
What was the next one?
I don't know.
You didn't get any money out of any of them?
No, he did not. He didn't,
All
he
right,
didn't pay me.
so you decided to just bring me this headache.
Yeah, but
a crackhead that wants to keep
for the
smoking
money
crack.
and to get him help.
Get him what help? He don't want any help. What are you missing?
Could you offer him help?
No, I ain't offering him nothing. He said what he wants to do. He wants to keep getting high. What part don't you understand? Your brother wants to be a crackhead. Bring him to me when he wants to change. You help him when he wants to change. Do you owe him or not?
We did make a loan, yes, but there was a situation.
There you go. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
David.
Okay.
I want to get you help, David. I'm tired of worrying about you. I'm tired of wondering if something's going to happen to you. You don't see the seriousness of what you're doing. And I love you. We just lost our sister. You know that. And I don't want to lose you. So I was trying to get you help.
Okay. I don't got nothing to say. Just, I make my choice when I make it. So, like.
Plaintiff Veronica Craig says the defendant is her cousin, and Veronica claims she had a rough childhood because the defendant's mother was not a good role model. Veronica says she tried to help raise the defendant to be a responsible human being, but she's suing her today for car damages and defamation. Defendant Dionysia Bullock Brown says she went into the foster care system when she was 12 years old, and if Veronica cared about her so much, she would have gotten her out of the system. Dionysia is countersuing for car payments, car repairs, and the cost of a license plate.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I would like to say, I know Dionysia has really had a hard time growing up because her childhood wasn't too nice. She grew up with family members like her mom that really were not positive role models. Our family tried to actually shield them, shelter them, protect them, and just try to raise them to be responsible human beings. I know Dionysia's had things rough for her. She's actually tried to do things to make her life better. I know she does have 3 children, but she cares for them as best as she can. And I know she does have a chronic illness that she actually was diagnosed with earlier this spring, but she is still continuing to try to provide for her children.
Good. So you've said good things about her. Mm-hmm. Let me hear from you. She's still drinking that whiskey. She must still have it. You said she was straight now. So you got to have her a shot in here.
No. I have a cold. I have a cold. I got sick on the way here.
Clears everything
with whiskey in. Oh, okay, that's what they call it now. No, it's water. Go ahead. You give me some background.
Veronica is my cousin, but I call her my aunt because she's older than me. I actually thought she cared about me, but I see that she really doesn't because she took the time out to bring me on this show. And me and her...
Well, sometimes that is showing that you care because unfortunately a lot of people solve conflicts outside the court. So she has done the right thing when she has a dispute, particularly over money. So let me hear some more about you. This is your aunt and she's been all right with you most of your life?
No.
Why? Tell me what has happened between the two of you.
I never really seen her much when I was younger. I went in foster care when I was 12. Mm-hmm. And I honestly feel like if they cared so much, they would have got me and my sister out of the system. But
your mother didn't care?
My mom did care, but she had ended up getting incarcerated. And she asked some of the family members, can they take over and get us? Nobody wanted us.
Oh, okay. If she cared that much, she wouldn't get incarcerated. She would obey the law knowing that she had children who would be abandoned to the foster care system. So I think you're blaming the wrong person. You said everything about her and everybody else who didn't take care of you and who don't care about you other than the person who is legally required, morally required, spiritually required, every other type of requirement you can think of is on mama.
Honestly, she was never around. Ever.
Your mother?
No,
yes.
and
I'm talking about your mother right now. You keep acting like she was the devil and abandoned you. Your mother abandoned you. This woman has done nothing but help you from all I've heard. I'm not going to let you come in here and make her look bad because she didn't do something. Because she didn't do something. Put her out. Put her out. Because she didn't do something that your mother should have done. And you say nothing. Go ahead. Why are you suing her? Lock her up again if she keeps talking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Judge Mathis, can I say one thing, sir? I have an actual signed statement here from my mother. My mother will let you know that, true enough, I wasn't always in the house. I was financially responsible for Dionysia and her sisters when they were in my mom's care.
You were financially responsible?
Yes, because they were at my...
Why didn't you stop paying? You didn't care?
No. Okay. No. When they were smaller,
Did she know this part?
I don't know, but I can... my mother was...
All right. Tell me about the lawsuit today.
Okay. Well, the reason why we're here is because There were damages done to my car while they were in the...
What does she have to do with your car? Let's start there.
Oh, well, I actually allowed her to use my vehicle.
You didn't care, so why would you do that? Person don't care, don't let other folks use their stuff.
And I understand it.
You can walk, go by train, however you're going to get there, but you're not using my car.
I can show you text messages when she tells me she loves me, and I tell her I love her back.
All right, and let's get back. You decided to let her use your car.
Yes.
When was that?
That was back, actually, we talked about it on May 8th of this year.
Mm-hmm.
May 9th, she actually came and picked up the vehicle. I was told on May 8th by her mother that Darrenisha didn't have transportation. She got a new job and she would not be able to get there without transportation. If you look on there, my mother also told me to go ahead and let her use it because the vehicle was just sitting outside my house. I was not using it.
Okay, and so what happened?
The agreement came when we actually spoke on the 8th and also spoke again on the 9th. I let Darrenisha know that I do not need the car. The car actually reminded me of something that was very unpleasant. My daughter, in November 16, I bought it for her graduation present. In November 16, it caught on fire when my daughter was driving it. So I just really didn't want any parts of it.
She survived then?
Yeah, she's in school. Yeah, she's fine.
Okay, so what was the agreement?
The agreement was for Darrenisha to keep up the maintenance and repairs and do not let anyone else operate my vehicle. Those were the only two stipulations I put on it. I also explained to Darrenisha that I had a balance still on the car and I was responsible. She said she would be willing to pay me $200 a month to help me advance paying the actual car off.
How much were you paying with your payment? $442
$442
So you
a
were
month.
giving it to her half off.
Yeah, and also I included the insurance too, because I know she does not have the money to pay all that.
Go ahead. Not only did you care, you really cared. Go ahead.
It was in your name. You was paying on it if the car was in your name, so I had to keep paying you until next May so you could put the title in my name.
After it was paid off, Darrenisha.
Exactly.
Did you pay it
Because I could have paid my own insurance
Did she pay it
around
off?
it, you know
What happened with the payment?
Oh, she paid for the month of June and the month of July. August, Darrenisha was in the hospital. She actually had to have surgery or something like that. And what happened was I had got a call letting me know that my vehicle had been damaged. They said it was the windshield that had been busted. Well, I didn't know. I had to check on Darrenisha anyway, so my sister and I both went to the hospital. At the time, Darrenisha was in surgery. So we went to the parking lot at the hospital to look for the vehicle to see what was going on. It wasn't there, so we drove to her residence to see what was going on. I drove up. First thing I see is this, the window being busted up.
Go ahead.
So what next I did was actually I went to the house, knocked on the door. Her mother was there with her children. I asked the mother exactly what happened. That's when she said some children in the neighborhood or someone hit it with a rock. I'm like, well, where's the report? Or from the police, or did you get one for security? She said she wasn't sure, that Darrenisha would know. And then next thing I did, I asked her where the keys were. And she did give me the keys. I didn't think I had to explain anything else. I asked her to please come and remove Darrenisha's items from my car. Well, she did come down like she was going to do this. All she did was reach above the visor, above the driver's side.
So what happened to the agreement?
The agreement failed because of...
What did she do wrong?
What did she do wrong?
Yes.
She allowed her mother to operate my car, and she doesn't even have a license.
All right. Let me hear from you, ma'am. She said you all had an agreement and you broke
Yeah, she said I broke the agreement. I ended up in a hospital August 1st. I normally pay her every month on the 1st.
Let's start back to that agreement, because you needed a car, and what we've heard is that the cousin that you claimed didn't care about you was the one that stepped up and put her credit on the line for you. And in fact, she did it at half the price she was paying.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody that cares to me.
Okay, well, first of all, she been had the car. It was her daughter's car. So she gave me the car, what was it, May 9th, 2017. She said pay her $200 a month. And I said, okay, that's fine. I was paying her $200 a month for June and July. Then I paid her $150 for the plates, and then the alternator went out and the battery went out on the car. I paid for that too also. As far as the window being broken, I was at my friend's house getting my hair done. I got a statement for that too. I left her, when I got ready to leave her house, the window was cracked on the house. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Somebody tried to break in or something. She said they get a lot of break-ins at her apartments. Her car has even been broken in. They had stole her radio and everything out of her car. I was getting the window fixed on August 4th at 10:30, but I ended up in the hospital on the 1st. I thought it was my Crohn's that was messing up, so they kept me in the hospital from August 1st to August 7th. Then they found out that it was my gallbladder that was infected and needed to be removed. Then I got a call from my mom. Aunt Ronnie came and took the car. I was like, why would Aunt Ronnie come and take the car? I'm paying her, and I told her I'd pay her when I get out the hospital for the month of August. She's like, because of the window, and you said because I drove it. My mother only came to the hospital to pick up that car to drive it. My mom picked up the car from the hospital, drove it to Walmart because my kids did not have no food with me sitting in the hospital. And y'all know this. And went to Walmart. My mom didn't even want to pick up the car because she didn't have license. She thought, are you sure? I was like, who else going to do it? So I'm like, what's the big problem?
Okay. How does she defame you?
There were several different text messages on Facebook that was basically sent to my daughter.
Saying what? What to your daughter? Well, your daughter needs to sue. What did she say?
No,
did she mention you?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She made it seem like I was trying to take advantage of her.
All right, you got to read something. Read something that made you look bad. That's a lie, and that she intentionally lied. She intentionally lied to others to make you look bad, and it did make you look bad. That's defamation. So I'll let you get your paperwork together there. What I'm hearing is that you believe she breached the agreement by coming to get it because you have a reasonable explanation for your mother having to use the car. And I would think so too, based on what I'm hearing, if that's the only time that it happened, or even a couple of times if you were in the hospital in particular and she's caring for the children. So that's reasonable, but that's not the issue today because we are just discussing the damages. Mm-hmm. But you want your car payments back, and you want the car repairs, and you want the license plate that you paid for. Tell me how so.
Because the man told me that the alternator was already bad, and they said that the battery had acid all over it. And she told me nothing was wrong with the car. The car was good.
What year was it? What year was it?
This year, 2017.
What year is the car?
It's a 2012.
She said nothing was wrong with the car.
2012. How much did you spend? You had to get what? You have your list?
I had to get a new alternator and, oh, you want it?
Yes.
Okay.
Read that one.
Okay, I had to get a new alternator, and I had to pay for the labor and a brand new battery, and then I had to get a diagnostic.
All right, I see. What was the agreement on taking care of it, ma'am? Repairs?
I told her she was responsible for the repairs and the maintenance while she had it in her
Did she tell you that?
She told me to make sure I keep the car up. I kept the car up.
Well, then that's what that meant, making the repairs. And the license plate fee, how does she owe you for that?
Because I paid for them license plates and she took the car.
Paid for them for whose use?
For mine.
Okay. And how long did you keep it?
Only 2 months.
Okay, you kept the car for 2 months, but you got that for your own use.
But I didn't get the plates until
But you had to get them. Regardless of how long you kept it, you would have had to get them. And car payments, why do you want them back?
Because I'm not going to pay somebody for a car that they said I can have as long as I pay it off by next year.
But didn't you use it for the months that you paid her for?
Yes, but it was
well, if you used it, you need to pay her. Remember, she doesn't care, so she wouldn't give you anything free.
So now I don't have a car. I'm out of money.
You used the car.
But sir, the car was giving me problems. I got the car fixed.
Right.
And she just
and that was your agreement with her.
But she took
so
the car.
I'm going to dismiss your defamation unless you have it now.
Here it is.
Read what she says about you.
She said, I was having surgery. She went to my house and took it with not even reason. No reason at all.
That's defamation?
Yeah.
All right. I don't think she intentionally lied on you to hurt your reputation. She believes you didn't have a reason to take it. That's her belief and her opinion. I'll grant you your car damages $485. That's my decision, and your claim is dismissed. Have a good day, ladies.
Okay.
I have nothing else to ever say to you because then, Ronnie, you know, I took care of that car. You knew that. I paid you everything. And now I feel like you're taking from me and my kids. You got me and my daughter walking to a bus stop when I didn't sit here and gave you all this money for this car and took it because you knew I was in surgery. If you feel like you wanted to take your car, you should have said something to me.
No, what you don't understand is what financial responsibility is.
Yes, I do. What have I done wrong? What have I done? I took care of that car. I was getting that window fixed on the 4th. Shut the up talking to me because I told you I was going to get that window fixed.